Hi Josh, how are you today?
Hey Kara, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Did you have a topic in mind for today?
Um, well, I was thinking about the Fast and Furious saga.
Okay.
Probably, probably my favorite movie saga. I don't know about any particular movie, but
Okay.
I think I just really like them all kind of equally. There's just so many things about the movies that make them very unique.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so what do you think makes it unique?
There's a very, I would say, uncommon sort of family dynamic about these movies.
Yeah.
The- There's 8 movies in the series,
Okay.
and when the first one was made, it wasn't initially supposed to go to 8 movies. It was supposed to go to like one or two. Um,
Okay.
they were just kind of standalone movies. The whole dynamic was just about street racing.
Mhm.
But as it kind of progressed, it became about this team of people kind of pulling off these heists to find things that they wanted, car parts or
Oh, okay.
like fuel tanks. They would steal fuel tanks for
Mhm.
their cars when they're racing, things like that. Um, So they were kind of like vigilantes, but they didn't hurt people. They weren't like criminals that wanted to kill people or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, but things kind of progressed as they got to like the second or third movie,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of the fans said, "Well, we want to see more. We want to see them all kind of come together because there was a couple different aspects going on.
Mhm.
The first couple movies focused on different people, and they kind of wanted to see it all come together.
Oh, okay.
So that's when that family dynamic really started. It was like the fourth movie.
Okay.
Um,
So it seems like the family dynamic's really important to you.
yes, it is. Uh, it's interesting. It might have something to do with the fact that the movies got introduced to me by my family.
Oh, okay.
So Fast and Furious for me is kind of a family tradition.
Oh.
Um, so it's kind of interesting to watch a movie about this family with my family. Um, I mean, it's really important to them, and so I think because it's important to them, it's also really important to me.
It's important.
Um, the characters in the movie have character development that I've
Okay.
not ever seen in any other movie series.
Wow.
Some characters, like from the beginning all the way to the 8th movie, you think they're totally different people because they've changed so much, but
Wow.
they're also the same people because obviously, and it's just interesting to see how things affect them. The continuity of the movies,
Mhm.
the timeline is a little weird, but by the time you get to the end of the last movie that they made, it all makes sense again. And then you get this perspective of like, oh, okay, so all this is happening. This happened in this order, and it's a very invigorating movie series. Um,
It's invigorating.
I think that was the right term to use. It gets me excited, I'm
Okay.
vamped up, like yeah, like I want to see more. Like you don't know it's like when you're reading a book and you don't know what's
Uh-huh.
going to happen at the next page. Well, it's kind of like with these movies. I never know what's going to happen in the next scene, and I'm always on the edge of my seat, and I like that. I want that when I watch a movie.
Yeah.
Um,
It sounds like those movies are very exciting.
yeah, that's an understatement. Even I think some of the characters in and of themselves are particularly inspiring just because of um, there's a lot of focus in some of the movies about having a code,
Oh, okay.
and there's this whole kind of idea that it's important for people to have a code and to live up to that code in their life.
Hmm.
And as you're watching the movies and getting to know the characters, you can kind of see what their codes are,
Oh, I
and
see.
you can see how faithful some of them are to their families and to what they believe and what they would be willing to do for what
Right.
they believe. And it's just really interesting and entertaining.
So it sounds like with these, how many movies are there?
Just 8.
Okay, so there's 8 movies, and um, they race, and there's this extremely strong family dynamic in the movies, in which you can relate to, um, because you started kind of watching it with your family.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Sounds like you really enjoy these movies.
I do. I do. They represent, well, for me, they really represent not only just good experiences, but memories
Mhm.
with family.
Yeah.
Um, and I can sit there and analyze the scene, and I'm sitting there like, well, I wonder what my brother would think about this scene. Like, when I went to see the 8th one with my brother in theater, I was constantly looking over at him to see what his reactions were, and see what he was laughing at, and it's just kind of cool. I don't know, something about other people's reactions to movies when you're watching with them. It's just super, super interesting. I don't know. I'm always,
It's
I'm
interesting.
always,
Yeah.
I'm always looking at, does anyone else think this is funny? Is that someone else laughing? Is someone else getting emotional like I am? Um, and it's kind of nice to analyze the movie and look at the perspective of people watching with you, particularly with family.
Yeah.
So
Well, it sounds like you really pay attention to emotions, and how a movie makes you feel, um, and it seems like Fast and Furious is definitely one of those movies for you. Is that correct?
yeah, um, well, you know how like sometimes you're watching a movie and trying to get into it. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it just kind of happens. But with these movies, it's just really, really easy to just get into any of them emotionally.
Yeah.
You're just following it. You kind of almost feel like you're in the story, watching it happen, and there's just no effort at all because the movies are so well made. The
Mhm.
the scripts were so well written, um, and they really just build wonderfully off of one another. I think. And it makes it, like I said earlier, a very unique
Yeah.
series of
These
movies.
movies really build on each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Josh. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that you listened.
Absolutely.